unstoppable friends. Listen, I just had to come live today because I have some news that has just knocked me off my chair today. And I'm even coming to you au natural. I didn't have time to make my face or do anything else, but this could not wait, and it wouldn't do it justice just to write about it. And so I just had to tell you what is going on. I've got a phone call, but I'm going to mute it. Oh, phooey. Anyway, where do I start? Okay. I'm almost at a loss for words here. Okay, many of you know that I'm writing a book this year. And the book is geared toward supporting caregivers. That is my target audience, and the reason for that is because I was a full-time caregiver to my first husband for 14 years, 24/7. And so I have this incredible story to tell. It's not all about me, but what I want to offer my readers in this book is a roadmap to healing. I will tell parts of my story in the book that are appropriate to, that theme of healing. But I've also created a blog that will have more of my personal information in it. Well, the whole thing started a few years ago when the Lord dropped a divine download into my spirit of the title of this book. I knew it was a title of the book intuitively and instantly, but I didn't understand what it meant, or it was just a huge puzzle to me. And so I've prayed about it, I've pondered it. Hi, Sarah, glad you joined me. I've been praying about it, pondering it, thinking about it, and I just couldn't, it just didn't make any sense. And so I kind of put it on the back burner of my writer's brain just to simmer, okay? Well, it came forward to the front burner last September when I went through the first Unstoppable Influence Challenge with Natasha. She's the one who, kicked me in my butt and got me to thinking about taking action on actually sitting down and trying to write this book, which I did. I started it at the end of September of last year. And I didn't get very far because I still had a lot of questions that needed to be answered. And so, long story short, in the last 6 months, I have made progress, first of all, on getting more of it fleshed out. And the puzzle pieces that were missing in my brain started coming together. And hi, Katie, how are you? Glad you joined me. And so, especially in since the Limitless Challenge, when I released my limitations with those balloons that I let go of, and I really meant that with all my heart, all of a sudden, it's like the universe has just opened up, and I mean, resources that I have needed are dropping in my lap, like, raindrops or popcorn, however you want to describe it. But most recently, and this is the exciting part, I took a big financial risk and joined a school for self-publishing, which is what I'm likely going to do with this book. And in this school, they specialize in helping writers, faith-based writers especially, which is what I am, write their books and get them published. And many of their students have ended up going on to, their books become very popular. That's not really important to me, except that I want to reach the audience that I'm trying to reach, which is caregivers. And there are a tremendous number of caregivers in the United States. It's somewhere around 113 million people, which is about 41% of the US population. And it's only going to grow in the years ahead because people are living longer, and there's going to be a need as my generation, the baby boomers, as we age and we get into our 70s, 80s, and 90s, there's going to be a need for younger people to understand not only the topic of caregiving, but also appreciating their elders and treating them with respect and helping them. And it's not just about elder care, it's about anyone who's taking care of a minor child with a minor child, a spouse, or an elderly parent, or a friend who has either been injured or has become ill suddenly. And so the family member is now thrust into the role of caregiver, and they don't have a clue as to what to do, which is where I was 22, well, actually, back in 1983 is when it happened to me. And I was a caregiver, as I said earlier, for 14 years straight, 24/7. So what I'm attempting to do in this book is to offer people the roadmap to healing that I found when I came to the end of my caregiving years, and it was not pretty. It didn't end well. I actually had a total meltdown. I mean, I was helpless. I was so fractured and so broken that I didn't think I would ever, come back into a place in my life where I was whole and healthy. But I have found over this 22 years that it is possible, and that you can heal after catastrophic illness or injury occurs in your family. And so the title of the book, and this is exciting because I haven't really told anybody publicly, and this is the first time I've announced it in a group setting, but the title of the book is The Beauty of Imperfection. And the subtitle is Kintsugi for Caregivers. Now, kintsugi is a Japanese term that is used to describe a method of repair when a beautiful object like a vase or a bowl or something that's cherished and that's useful breaks or shatters. In Japan, instead of sweeping up all the pieces and just dumping them in the trash like we do, they actually gather all the parts and pieces and they put it all back together, and they use a blend of gold dust and lacquer to restore that object to its original beauty and then some. And they consider that the fact that it's been broken and repaired and restored makes it even more useful, more valuable, more beautiful than it was before it was broken. So that's the piece that has come to me in the last 6 months. The Beauty of Imperfection came to me 5 years ago. That's the part that was just driving me crazy because I couldn't figure out how that tied into anything. I knew I was supposed to write a book about it, but I didn't understand how it would all come together. Well, now it is. So tonight is my first coaching call with my new writing coach. His name is Scott Allen, and he's written 10 books. And I was just assigned to him randomly. The only thing I asked the people who were assigning the coaches was, please put me with somebody who's in my own generation. I want a baby boomer. I don't want a young person advising me on how to write this book. So they put me with this guy. And I've been emailing with him and kind of, you know, he sent me a list of questions to answer, which I spent all of last weekend putting together. It was 20 pages of questions and my responses to give him an idea of who I am and what this book is all about. Well, today I decided, since we're going to be speaking tonight, I wanted to go out to his Facebook page, which I had already, I'd already friended him about a week ago, but I hadn't really spent a lot of time on his Facebook page. So I went out there and I was scrolling through his page, and I saw that one of his 10th book has now been published. And I noticed on a lot of his books that he had Japanese characters, you know, on the front cover of his book. And that was kind of a moment for me. I wonder why he's doing that. Well, he had a post by a gal today who has started a series called Leading with Authenticity. And it's a video series where she interviews, 20 or 25 experts in their field about how to live an authentic life, sort of like what Natasha does, but in a different sense. How to live your authentic life that's lined up with your gifts, talents, skills, and desires. And so I was all excited because Scott was one of the people that she interviewed. So I clicked on the link and I went over there, and his interview, underneath it in red letters, it said, "This interview has expired." And I went, oh, please no. So I posted on underneath that little post that he had put, is there any possible way that, I can watch this video? Because so far all I've seen is about a three-minute video that he did for all of his new students. And I liked him instantly when I saw the video. I really resonated with him. And so anyway, long story short, the gal who did the series, who interviewed him, wrote back almost immediately. And she said, "Melody, all of these interviews are going to be reactivated next week. So you'll be able to watch his interview." Meanwhile, I'm reading the post, the written part underneath the post. And you guys, you are just not going to believe this. I hope you're sitting down. I almost fell off my chair when I read this. 20 years ago, Scott Allen decided he wanted to change a lot of things in his life. And so he made a major, bold move. And he moved from Canada to, guess where? Japan. So for the last 20 years, he has been living, teaching, and coaching in Japan. Now, tell me that is not, God's divine connection for me in writing this book, because I'm talking about the method of repair, kintsugi, but I'm applying it to the human heart and restoring broken human hearts. And my early mistake was, in thinking about my audience, was, I'm just writing this book to anybody who's had a broken heart for any reason whatsoever. Well, no, that wasn't right, and it was too general. So once I narrowed it down to the caregiving thing, then I was petrified, because that means that I have to share parts of my story, some of which are not pretty. But I learned a lot of lessons during that time. During that 14-year period, I learned a lot of lessons that would be helpful to other people who are new caregivers, who maybe are struggling, or they've been in it for a while and they're feeling overwhelmed and burned out, and just, they don't know where to go to find resources or anything like that. Now, back when I was a caregiver, there was no internet. And I desperately searched for books or anything. Anytime I had a chance to go to a bookstore or anything, I was looking for a book that is the book that I'm about to write. Because not only is it the roadmap to healing for caregivers designed specifically for them, but it will also have in the back an extensive resource or an index, an appendix of some sort that is going to have all of the resources and help that is available for caregivers listed by state. And if I have time, or if it makes sense, you know, I may try to find information for those who are in other countries as well. But I'm mainly focused right now on trying to get the information about the, you know, those who are in the United States, because that's a big job just in itself. So anyway, I'm just overwhelmed today with, you know, just the whole, how all of this is coming together, and how once I stepped out in September and just started writing, even though I wasn't even clear on what it was, what this book was going to end up being, and continued with Natasha through 3 of her challenges, including this latest Limitless challenge. All of a sudden, after that releasing of limitation ceremony, I mean, everything started falling into place. And I have been writing furiously to try to get the blog ready, because I'm going to release that before I release the book. And also, you know, writing the book. I already have the chapters outlined. I have everything ready to go. I just need to fill in the blanks now. So I'm feeling grateful today that that God has led me to the sources and the resources and the people and the tools that I need in order to make this dream a reality. And I'm sorry that this video is so long, but y'all, I just can't get over this. I mean, I'm just amazed that God has paired me with this author who is very successful, who has actually lived in Japan and knows the culture very well. So anyway, I'm going to end this now, but I just wanted to give everybody encouragement that, you know, what Natasha says is true. Once you decide what it is you want, and writing a book for me has been a lifelong dream, and then you take the action steps to actually, you know, start seeking out and taking action, moving your feet, so to speak. It is amazing what starts to happen. So don't give up. If you're feeling like it's not happening for you, don't give up. Keep pressing forward, keep praying, keep believing. That's a big one. Keep believing that in his timing, you know, God will bring it about for you. I am just so excited about the future. Now, it's like I get out of bed every morning just ready to hit the pavement running. And I've never been a morning person. I've been a night owl my whole life, and I still lean that direction, but I'm actually getting up earlier now, and I'm excited about the day, because I know that, you know, I know I have a plan, and it's coming together, and it's exciting to get up every day and do something that you love, which for me is writing, and then to have all these other things added to it. It's just overwhelming for me. And if I don't get off this video right now, I'll probably start crying, because that's how I feel about this whole thing. Just overwhelmed, and overwhelmed with gratitude at this moment. So hang in there, everybody. Keep believing, keep going, don't give up. The only time you lose is if you give up. And I came very, very close to not joining this school because it costs so much. But boy, am I glad I took that step. So I will give you progress reports as time goes on. And I'm sorry for the plain face, but I just had to tell you right now while the excitement is high. Anyway, love you very much. Thank you all for joining me. So far, I see Sarah and Katie, and anybody else who watches on replay. Please let me know that you saw this and in any way that it makes sense to you. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody. Love you.